All right.
I'm actually not sure if it already did the countdown or not. So just shoot me a message.
Hello. It did do the countdown.
It did do it. Okay, I missed it. So, all right, great. Awesome.
We're live.
We're live.
Hooray.
Welcome to the second live stream for the fall box for ArtSnacks quarterly. And I'm really excited because right now, like October Ink Challenge is going on. And if you, maybe you already know because you've already been like working at your own prompt list, but ArtSnacks also releases their own prompt list the last couple years, and they do the ArtSnacks Ink Challenge. And they have this really awesome artist working with them this year. She's doing her own streams. I believe they've posted on the Instagram channel, Instagram post about when she'll be live with ArtSnacks. And I'm sure Sarah will be able to drop the dates for that in the chat as well. And to embrace all of the ink challenge, I wanted to work on my own prompts. And so this is the doodle I did last live stream, and I just did a bunch of like fall doodles, and it's really fun. We have this really great fall color palette in the box this quarter. So we'll be working a lot with that. And I mostly stayed with just the markers that came in the box last time. But this time I'll also be throwing in some other alcohol markers from different brands. But all of the brands I'll be using are available in the ArtSnacks shop. So I'll let you know what they are. And I'm excited to share that they blend really nicely with each other. I used maybe 4 different brands. And I just did this to even further evolve my color palette and, to put these markers to the test. So I'll be kind of doing let's see how many of the ink challenge drawings I can get done tonight with you guys. And we'll just start with the first day and kind of go one to the next. And today's prompt is, I believe, jangly skeleton. If you want to work on today's prompt, I'll be starting at day 1 and we'll just kind of see how far I can get. Oh, and before I switch off this view, and now that a lot of you should be here, my name is Caitlin. If you have any questions at all, you can type them into the chat. I'm happy to answer them while we are doing some drawing together. And yeah, this is the ArtSnacks Fall Box second stream. So enjoy, get out your art supplies and follow along. I will be going through just a couple of the supplies I'll be using first off, and then we'll get into drawing. So just to review what came in the box, I have the Art Alternatives illustration markers, and this is in the, I believe, the portrait is what this color palette is called. And it's kind of like their skin tone palette, but it also is just like a really lovely like neutrals palette for drawing, like, you saw my drawing with all the fall stuff, pumpkins, coffee, just a really, it has a really good range to it. Also in the box, I got the Zig clean colored dot marker, and mine is in a metallic blue, and I believe we all got a metallic. I got the Koh-i-Noor eraser, and this eraser has these like really fine edges on it to do some detail work, but also you can use this eraser like over, like, to erase a whole page if you needed to. So it's not just for detail work. Got the Cretacolor Mega Graphite pencil, and that's in 4B. And I used this last stream as kind of like my outlining. Like, instead of using like a black fine liner, I used this pencil and it worked amazing. So I'll definitely be doing that a lot tonight as well. We have the Cretacolor Fine Art Graphite pencil. This is what I'll be using for my sketching. We got the Kuretake, man, should have practiced this since my last stream, but Fudigo Kochi. Oh yeah. And that I have the green. I think we all got a different color. I think it comes in like navy blue and black, maybe red. And it has a really, really tiny brush pen. And then I have a pencil sharpener, and I actually use the pencil sharpener like right before this to sharpen up this pencil because I've been using it a bunch. And it's a long point pencil sharpener. So if you can kind of see it like really exposed, like a lot more of the lead, and it has a really nice point to it. So little nice little picture of how it looks when you use it. I also, for supplementing to my box, oh, and I have the pencil pouch as well, keeping everything in right now. Supplementing the box, I have a couple white jelly rolls because I didn't need these to make any highlights on the drawings I did before, but I do sometimes make mistakes and I like to white them out. So I reach for these semi-often. So I do have those on hand. I might reach for them today. I have the Coom dual pencil sharpener because this one is really good for the Mega Graphite. Fits really well in this. I noticed the Mega Graphite doesn't fit as well if you have like the Faber-Castell dual one. I was having problems with it, but this one worked perfectly if you happen to have that one on hand. I didn't go through all of my pencil sharpeners though, so I'm sure plenty of them work. And then to supplement my alcohol markers and just to kind of put these markers to the test of different brands, I have a bunch of Copics. They all blend really good. And then I also have my Olo markers. And these are all brands. I looked beforehand. I'm pretty sure all of these brands are still available in the shop. If not, it would be most of them are. There's definitely Copics in the shop. Olos. I got some Spectra ad pencils. I got a Shinhan Art Touch marker, and then sketch marker from graphics from Marabou, sketch marker graphics. And then I was like, I'm missing one, and this one I remember seeing in the shop. It's the Graphit I don't know if it has another subtitle to it, but the Graphit alcohol marker. It has a brush tip on one side and it has a fine tip on the other side, which is pretty unique. Yeah, I'll be reaching for these. Not like these will still be like the main part of the show, but I'll be kind of reaching for these other brands to expand my color palette for all of the prompts for the ink challenge, and to just show you how these perform with other brands. I was actually really pleased with how well they blend together. So, but I really haven't, I guess I haven't done like a big, I haven't put a lot of alcohol markers to like the test between each other. So maybe that's just like a good quality of alcohol markers, that they do play nice with each other, or these ones are just really good. So let's get started. And I think I actually forgot to mention, like, the main star of the show is the Render Crescent sketchbook here, and it's a sketchbook that is specifically good for alcohol markers because it has no bleed through. So it's like, let me show you. You can do stuff on both sides of the page without it ghosting through to the other side. So you can fully use both sides of your sketchbook without worrying about, like, here's my front page and I did a bunch of swatching on the other page and none of it is ghosting through. So in my eyes, yes, star of the show. Like, I don't know, amazing. If you were lucky enough to pick one of these up during Paper Fest last month, you know, you got one heck of a deal on that. So, okay, let's see. The first prompt for the ArtSnacks Ink Challenge is spooky strawberry. And I have to, my camera hates when I just have a white piece of paper, so I have to like keep something on here when I first start. Otherwise it gets mad at me. And I kind of wanted to keep a theme of doing like little ghosty illustrations for all of the days, all the prompts. Because I had a really good idea for the spooky strawberry, and then I just kind of like kept with that entire aesthetic for all of my other days when I was planning this out. So I am going to draw a little ghosty. And I don't know, it reminds me, it's like the ghost like emoji kind of look, just like your classic classic like bed sheet, you know, ghost costume look. And I made them all look kind of like cutesy. I feel like that tail is like a little bit long, but that's fine. And then the top of it will have that strawberry type, like the greens of the strawberry. Put a little stem on it. And I sketched this out with the Cretacolor Fine Art Graphite. And I have an HB. So you might have gotten a different grade of graphite on that. And again, camera hates when I do that. Got to keep something on here until I get color on here. We have a question. And the question is, you bet I got another one of these sketchbooks during Paper Fest. I love this paper so much. I totally stocked up. Yes. Okay. I knew there was somebody out there like me. I love these sketchbooks. They are amazing. I also have been, like, in my personal time, I've been working on a different prompt list that all has to do with space stuff because I love space so much. And I've been using the larger plum chester size. I think it's 8x8 or just about 8x8. And I've been using the Copic fine liners, and I thought they would ghost, but they haven't. And so I've been able to complete all of my drawings so far, front and back. And I'm like really excited to have like 31 drawings nonstop in the whole book. So that's pretty exciting and good news for everybody that it doesn't ghost. All right, so I'm gonna be using a combination of the blush Art Alternatives marker and a Copic marker. This is RV29 Crimson, in case anybody needs to know. And I'm first going to go in with the Art Alternatives, the lighter color. That's typically how I like to blend, is going in with the lighter color first. And I'm going to drag down towards the area where I'm going to be adding in that darker color. I like to kind of be able to do quick, loose brush strokes with that brush side of the marker. And a trick with the blending alcohol markers is to work quickly. Alcohol evaporates really quickly. And so if you want that ink to blend really nicely, you want to be able to work really quickly. And so I'm doing the opposite here, where I started at the bottom and I'm blending up towards the area that I want to blend into. So they kind of meet in the middle. Go back up a couple areas on this. And then I'm going to go back in with my Art Alternatives one and do more strokes downward into that other color. And you can kind of like hyper focus a lot of your strokes in the middle there where you want them to blend more. And I've also noticed that like as it dries, like the ink is going to change a bit. So it's also kind of like one of those trust the process moments that you need to like give your ink a chance to really like set in and a chance to dry and blend, because you'll notice that sometimes like letting something sit for a couple minutes, it's going to look different as it dries. I think I definitely could have been quicker with this, but I'm going to drag it a little further down into the strawberry area as well. But you can already tell that mid section is lightening up a lot. And then I don't have a really good green color for the top, but using color theory, we can make our own green. So I have the, this is the sand color from the Art Alternatives one. And then I have that light blue from the Graphite brand. And first I'm going to go in with, oops, wrong side. First I'm going to go in with the yellow on top. Color this area here. Color that all in. And then I'm going to go directly over it with this light blue. And at first, it looks pretty blue. Like it's going to look mostly blue. And I remember when I was like practicing this, I was like, oh my gosh, what have I done? And then you let it sit, let it dry, and the green really comes through it. I mean, it's kind of like a murky green, like a swamp green, these two colors together. But as it dries, more of that blue certainly comes out. I'm just going to go over it a little bit with this yellow again, the sand color. And so we'll let that dry and we'll come back to it, and it actually creates like a pretty nice green. You can already see it turning more green as we speak. And then for doing like the eyes, like are typically black on these types of ghost drawings, I've been using the brown, but I also have like a black Copic, and the brown looked fine, but since I have this on hand, I'm going to use it. So I'm just going to do some of the ghost eyes. And I'm also going to use this to do the seeds of the strawberry. And I'm just like holding the brush tip at a side angle so that it kind of creates that like raindrop shape. And you can do this not just with a Copic marker, you can do this with any brush tip, just using the side of it. But yeah, as soon as I saw spooky strawberry, this was the first thing I thought of. And I had so much fun drawing this little ghost that I was like, okay, I'm just going to do all of these with ghosts. I'm not very good at like the like spooky, scary type. Like a lot of my artwork isn't very like, I don't know, kind of, it's not on that like grungier side that Inktober was like created out of. So doing stuff that's on the more cutesy side, like which I love about Mel's prompt list, is it all has like great adjectives in front of each prompt, is a lot easier for me to like lean into. and get inspired by. So I hope you guys are also enjoying the prompt list. I'm going to outline this green area, which now you can see is like pretty green looking, with the Kuretake Fude Gokochi pen. And mine is in a dark green, so it looks really good with this, and we'll make this area look even more green. And let me see, I'm going to outline this whole area with the Create a Color Mega Graphite pencil. And typically when I work with alcohol markers, I would like to clean up my pencil lines a lot more before I go in. If you're using a softer pencil and go in with alcohol markers, you can definitely pick up the graphite pigment and drag it along with it, and it can make your drawing look a little less clean. But I want you guys to be able to see my sketch before I draw it, so I'm just leaving my pencil lines as is, and just kind of embracing the sketchiness look. If I would draw too lightly, you're not going to be able to see it on camera. So that is why I'm not erasing them. I'll erase any big mistakes, but I want you guys to be able to see, figuring out how I want to orient my markers up here. All right, and then I need to look at what the second, is it Grumpy Frog? I think that might be it. Let me see. Yes, Grumpy Frog is the next one. Let's see. I'm going to go back to my Create a Color Fine Art Graphite with the HB graphite grade, and get to work on my frog. I love doing this kind of like, I don't do a lot of like little character art things, and so having this ghost look and covering up the objects with the ghost, it really helps me feel a little bit more confident, because I'm not having to draw every single element of like the animal or the object. I just have to draw enough that it looks, you know, like a ghost, or like a frog or a strawberry or whatever. And so it's been kind of a good way. I don't want to say to cheat, because I don't think there's really cheating in art unless you're plagiarizing maybe, but it's like a good way to feel more confident drawing. I am totally like an advocate of like using all the tools you have available to you as an artist. So I don't really see like tracing or anything as like cutting corners. It's like just to use all of the tools you have available to you. Even professionals trace things or use photograph references or what have you. And then I'm going to make the legs go out like this. Had to look up, had to make sure that I wasn't drawing this off the camera view. And I'm just going to fit as many as I can onto one page, and then we'll turn pages. But I'm just going to kind of like, instead of doing a single one on each page, I'm just fitting a bunch on here. And then I want to drape this more over here, and this will connect back to this. So it's going to go on top of the legs. Perfect. And then we're going to put the eyes of the frog up at the top. So let me know in the chat if you've been participating in an ink challenge this month. Like, have you been doing the ArtSnacks ink challenge, or have you been doing Inktober, or is there another prompt list you've been working off of? Let me know. I always love hearing what people like to work on. I typically still, like, I've been using I made my own Spacetober prompt list a couple years ago. And that was really fun. It was like the first year I felt truly inspired to complete the entire month. I think just because everything was kind of in my wheelhouse. And through that, I found another creator that also makes a Spacetober prompt list. And so since then, I've just been following her prompt. But I also love checking out whatever ArtSnacks is doing and whatever Inktober is doing. And sometimes I'll flip-flop between like 5 different lists, you know, and just go with the one that day that inspires me the most. I really like putting things in front of me that just like keep me moving and doesn't give in to like my decision paralysis too much. So that is why I like either working with just like one prompt list that really, really inspires you, or just like, you know, breaking the rules and following whatever you need to that inspires you that day. So I'm doing the same thing I did with the top of the strawberry, and then making the green with this sand color from the Art Alternatives and going over it with the graphite pencil, or sorry, I keep mixing up my words, the graphite marker in blue. Such a fun take on the ink challenge. Seeing the little frog's legs develop is so adorable. Thank you. Yeah, I'm actually pretty, like I said, I'm not like a big like character artist. I wish I was. I've been drilling different stuff for like the past year to try to develop that side of my artwork, and I'm pretty pleased with like seeing some development. It's not, I wouldn't say I'm a really strong character artist now, but the work I've put toward it has paid off in that area. And with that, I feel like I've become more comfortable with bringing things into my, you know, wheelhouse that wouldn't necessarily be in there, and just being able to be more adaptable in that way. But I know, what is it? It's day 10, right? It's still like the beginning, man. I keep thinking to myself, because I'm like pretty much caught up in my personal sketchbook, and I'm kind of like gassing myself up about it. And then I keep having to remind myself, like, it's only day 10. Like, there's still like more than half of the month to go. So, gotta pace yourself. But I've been doing the ArtSnacks one every day. I love the adjectives being included also. Yeah, me too. It's such a good jumping off point. It's like, I love having a prompt for something because it really helps my brain to like focus in than just like drawing whatever I feel like. I do much better with a prompt. But sometimes the Inktober ones can feel like a little overwhelming with the single word. So really helps me focus even more. And that's something I always loved about the ArtSnacks challenge, is that it helps, like, using the supplies that come in your box together really helps me creatively as well, because it's such a good jumping off point. All right, so I'm going to, I could go in with my fine, like this fine brush pen again. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that first. Outline this guy. And I tried to like give him some grumpy eyebrow looking eyelids. So hopefully that comes through once I add his eyeballs in there. This paper is so different from like anything like else I've ever used for marker paper. It's like sometimes marker paper is like really slick, or it's really thin, and this is neither. It is thick and it is like feels like regular drawing paper. And it reminds me almost of like, if maybe only people who buy as much fabric as me would understand, but you can buy like blackout curtain fabric for making blackout curtains, and it feels kind of like that. Like it must have like this coating on in the middle of each sheet that is what is keeping everything from bleeding through to the other side. And that's what it reminds me of. But I'm sure not everyone is just like buying blackout fabric in their spare time. But I like to sew things and sew things for my home. And so if you're curious, you can get blackout fabric from Joanne. All right, I'm using the Cretacolor Mega Graphite again as kind of like my outlining tool. That is how I like to illustrate with alcohol markers, is like either using like a fine liner or just something to kind of like smooth out all of my edges and bring it together a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead. I feel like it's creating a little bit of dust because I put this in such a fine point that it was just creating a little bit of dust. Okay, and then I'm going to just give this guy some eyeballs. Or some pupils. He is grumpy frog. And then I put a unhappy face on him. Oh yeah, he's not having it. And then I'm just gonna lightly erase some of these sketch lines. Try to move my mic out of the way while I'm doing that. All right. Okay. Erased a few of those because I want to go in and shade this a little bit more, and I didn't want those sketch lines getting in the way of my shading. I'm using the same pencil, the Cretacolor Mega Graphite, and I'm holding it almost completely on its side to use that broad side of the lead, and lightly going in to shade just the draping of where this sheet would drape if it was actually draped on top of the frog, and kind of going in and dipping down where you know his legs wouldn't be and stuff. And this is really just like using my best guess here. I typically am a person that likes to work from a photo reference, but sometimes I do my best to imagine what it would be, even though that is not my strongest point as an artist. I'm going to imagine here that all of the dips up are kind of like folds in, and that this needs to be shaded a little bit on each side. Have any of you been using your like alcohol markers in combination with any ones you had in your collection? Or have you just been kind of like, maybe it's your first set of alcohol markers, so you've just been using them with themselves? I think it's always really nice when we get like a set of alcohol markers, or I think like sometime last year or whenever it was that we last had Copics, I can't remember when it was. We got 3 colors, and that was awesome. And then this time we got a set of 6 alcohol markers, and it's so much easier, especially if you're new to alcohol markers, like learning how they behave, when you're able to work with a set, and especially like an analogous set like the one we got, and learning those like blending behaviors. They're kind of hard to learn when you just have one standalone marker. So it's always nice to work from a set. And you can see my frog, it's like he's a little on the blue-green side. But from my view here too, on camera, he's looking still like a little bit more blue. He looks a little more green in person. That layering technique of putting down one solid color and then a whole other solid color on top of it, can really change the way your alcohol ink works, even on your darkest colors. Like if you put down like the light pink, and putting down like a pretty dark color on top of it, it will change even like the tone of that color. You can also kind of think of it like this was like a full blending moment, but you can also think of putting down a color like you would in a painting. If you've done like an underpainting before, know that concept of doing one and having that kind of peek through to your final illustration. It gives it a lot of depth that way. So just to review, in case you haven't been here all stream, I'm working on some of the ArtSnacks Ink Challenge prompts. And so the day 1 prompt was a spooky strawberry, and then the day 2 prompt was a grumpy frog. So that is where I'm at so far. And I like how this looks with the little blending on it. And I need to look at the next day. We are on to Shy Mushroom. I struggled with this one a bit, but I'm gonna do my best. I think I'll just do Shy Mushroom up here in this little corner. Let me see. Kind of wondering if I should tuck the start of the mushroom all the way in here. So it's kind of a funky mushroom leaning over. And I want to give it a whiter base. Let me see. Still want to keep on theme with my kind of little ghost faces. And I think, let me see. Draw the base of it. So whenever I'm really concentrating is when I get really quiet. And I could put like the face up here to do a mushroom, and then I was still thinking of like putting polka dots on it, kind of like the red and white polka dots. Or I could put a little face, like, could be like a little face right here. I could feel like, does that look more like a shy mushroom? I feel like that's cuter. I feel like that's what I should go with. Let's do that. And then I'm gonna go and use my blush colored Art Alternatives marker to add some polka dots.
Hey, Caitlin, it's Sarah here.
Hello.
I just wanted to give you a heads up that we're halfway through this workshop here. So
All right.
You still have some time to maybe, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 other challenges, but
We'll see. We'll see.
See what we can do.
Time is flying. All right. Excuse me. Let me see. I think I'm going to use the sand color to draw like the underneath portion of the mushroom here. And then I'm going to use the light peach color on the body of the mushroom, I guess, the stem, or since this is like an anthropomorphized mushroom, the body. And I am going to go ahead and erase some of this because it's distracting. And I think I still have this black Copic acrylic, or black Copic alcohol marker. And I'm going to go ahead and use it to do my little face here. Put a little smiley face on it. I feel like I need to make those a little bit more even. And I have the blush color. I'm just going to go in and try to add some little like cheeks, little shy cheeks. I feel like the mushroom's definitely like my weakest one out of the bunch. Kind of struggled with it when I was practicing the design, but maybe mushrooms just aren't my strong suit. Should stick with grumpy frogs. And again, I'm using the Cretacolor Mega Graphite pencil for this outlining. I'm going to outline all of the polka dots as well. And then I'm also going to add some of these detail lines here. There we go. And let me look at my next prompt here. Shy mushroom content worm. I like this one. I like this one a lot. I don't know how you make I don't know how I'd make my worm looks content. I don't know what it is about it, but kind of a funny adjective to have. I'm going to move over a little bit to this opposite side of my page here, and just to show you guys, no ghosting to the other side. And I have you know, remember I layered a bunch of colors on top of each other to get that green as well and went over it a lot. So that is how good this paper is. Oh, I want to sketch with my other pencil. All right, I'm going to sketch out my little ghost portion first and then kind of go in to draw the rest of the worm. What has been your favorite prompt so far? Maybe you can put like what has been your favorite one and what has been like your weakest one, you feel like. I think for me it really was the mushroom out of all of the ones I've completed. And my favorite one might be the worm. I don't know. I'd have to go and look at all the ones I've done. Trying to imagining the worm is like in here. This. Yeah, whenever I think of like a worm shape, I think of if anybody had the worm Beanie Baby. That's what I'm going with. I said, don't feel too bad. If Shy Mushroom is a bit tough, it's a challenging prompt. I was stumped till I realized the cap looked like a rain hat, then added a fan. That's really cute. Like that. I know I thought about adding hands, like little cartoon hands, like up underneath, like covering the face a little bit, or hiding my mushroom behind a book. And I don't know. I couldn't commit to anything. I was trying to do something with like part of the mushroom coming down over one eye, a little bit. Just changing the shape of that a little bit. All right. And then for this one, I'm going to reach towards another brand of alcohol marker. This is the Sketch Marker Graphics from Marabou. And I'm going to use this one comes with a chisel nib on one side and a bullet nib on the other side. I'm going to be using the chisel nib side. I think, do these nest and tuck? Yeah, I love when pens do that, even like oddly shaped ones. Let me just make sure this is in view for you guys. And I'm just going to go through and fill this whole worm in. And just friendly reminder that the Art Alternatives markers also have a chisel nib on one side. Depending on what you're doing, it can definitely like you can see your shading more, which isn't a bad thing. It's kind of like being a little bit painterly with your movements and kind of embracing that sketched quality. So every now and then I like using the chisel side, especially when I'm doing like really broad areas with one color. But I mostly just, I don't know, I drew this initially with the blue, and you'll see I'm going to go in with my blue metallic Kuretake Zig marker on top, and I really like how it turned out. I'm going to go to like the bottom areas here and layer on top of those to make them a little bit more saturated and darker. kind of create a shadowy look since that part of the worm is on the underside. And I'm going to do the same thing a little bit to these dips. This would have a little bit, all of these are kind of on the underside a little bit. All right, so there is my little ghost worm. And before I go in with the Mega Graphite pencil, I am going to go in with the dot marker and outline my ghost with the metallic marker. And these are pretty similar in like value, like they're both pretty dark blues. But when this dries, it's going to have that nice sheen on it, which will really set it apart from the blue color I put as the base. And then I'm also going to add some little detail lines here to make it look more like a worm. All right. I don't know. I just think that's really cute. Okay. Then I'm going to go in with Mega Graphite and outline. And I'm like pressing down pretty hard with this pencil, but not enough that it's going to like make my hand cramp up or anything. Because it's that 4B graphite grade, it already has some pretty good payoff with pigment. And then I'm just going to give it some shading like I have on my other little characters. And like I'm imagining this part is like a little bit behind, you know, that front part, so the shading's gonna get a little darker there. And then again, these kinds of areas where it goes up is where I'm imagining the sheet is kind of folding a bit. Add some shading in there too. I also saw someone say, and I noticed there is no ghosting on my paper, and I'm drawing all ghosts. I did notice they said that earlier. I didn't know if anyone would catch it. And so I'm glad somebody did. I should have just gone ahead and made a joke about it. No ghosting, even when you're drawing ghosts. All right, I'm just gonna do a little bit of shading on this side as well. And then I'm gonna add my eyes. A little worm guy. And then I am gonna go ahead and like just add a little bit of shadow here. It's like I haven't really anchored any of my other drawings, but something about this one makes me want to do it, so I'm going to. cute. I love how all these are looking together. Need to look at my next prompt here. Rotten pumpkin. This one was tricky for me, but I think I was able to get it. Let me see here. Always like every time I switch to like a different prompt, I like need to reset and be like, okay, what colors am I using and which markers, and so I can remove a couple. Actually, I think I'm using all like the portrait palette for these guys. And like, I don't know, I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to fill up this whole area then with a pumpkin. What size of paper are you guys using for your ink challenge? Like, do you like working like on big sheets of paper in a sketchbook, or loose leaf, or do you like working in like a smaller format because you feel like maybe that's like a little bit more approachable to accomplish the Inktober challenge or ArtSnacks challenge with? I sometimes get more paralysis with a smaller sketchbook than like a larger one. But then again, the larger size is also, you know, trickier to sometimes fill up. My pumpkin stem there. And I'm still going to go for the ghost sheet look. Maybe I won't do as big of a ripple right there. There you go. Something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and clean up a little bit of this while it's still in the sketching phase. And I'm using the eraser that came in the ArtSnacks quarterly box. That is the Koh-i-Noor something plastic eraser. I would need to, I have the thing with me. The Koh-i-Noor thermoplastic eraser. But it has the nice little edges on it for erasing. And I'm going to use this praline color for like my main pumpkin color, because it is kind of like a good orangey color. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with the hazelnut color and kind of add some, like, I don't know, like spoiling marks, like the pumpkin has gone bad. Okay, and then I'm going to go back over again with the praline color and kind of help those to blend into each other. If you notice, I like following a process with the alcohol markers that are like kind of like light color, dark color, go back to the light color. And for me, that is a process with blending that works. There are lots of ways to blend things. That's the way I like to do it. And again, as this kind of settles in, the ink kind of like sets in a little bit more, it does like blend even more as you let it dry. So if you want to take a look at my frog, again, like that ink was really like layered on top of each other. Like we layered the blue over the yellow and have like a really nice green. And that mid-tone there that was really striking at first has really blended in nicely with, between that pink and red. So definitely, like, alcohol markers for me are a trust the process medium. So just give it a go and be kind to yourself. Just like I would just say keep going, keep layering, just keep, like, even if you think two colors aren't going to go together, just like give it a shot. You'll be surprised how good it looks as you keep developing it. I need to outline this, or should I do the stem first? I think I'll do the stem in the really dark brown color. I think this is called Coffee. Yeah. I think I'm going to do that and then go in between with, this is the praline color again. And you'll see I kind of talked about even those darkest colors, if you put them a lighter color on top of it, it's still going to change the quality. Oh man, I got a little blurry. It's still going to change the quality of that darkest ink. And once this dries, I'll bring the camera in a little bit more to show you how it kind of alters the quality of even the really dark colors. Oh, I was going to do one more thing with the praline color. Forgot. Got to go back to do that. Lost my train of thought there for a moment. Okay, back to the praline color. I'm going to use the chisel side, and I'm going to go in and add the kind of, I don't know, what are ridges of the pumpkin? And even though this is the same color on top of that, it's like the chisel nib kind of creates this more like focused, I don't even know what word I'm on, but it's certainly more saturated coming out, I think, because you're able to put like different pressure on the nib. And so this will fade in. You can already see some of these lines are fading in more than others, but it's going to create enough of that ridge that we need to show that there's, that this looks more like a pumpkin. And so it's a nice little trick of, like, if you want something to really stand out or be kind of like its darkest value within that same color, like using the chisel nib really helps with that. My ghost pumpkin, and again, I'm going to reach for that black Copic marker to fill in the eyes on this one. Kind of have a variety going on between the ones I do with the pencil or the ones I want to use a marker for. And to make this look truly rotten, I'm going to add some flies. So drew a little like flight line there. Then I have another one over here. And I think that is what really sells it as like a rotting pumpkin. But I think the, I don't know, the little like rotten decaying part, the soft, you know, and like a vegetable gets a little bruised. Kind of what I'm going for. I'm going to bring this in a little bit more. Bring my light down a little bit more too. And I want to be able to show you here. Okay, so I outlined this area with that darkest alcohol marker, and then I went on top with a lighter one. And you can see that at first you couldn't see that lighter one, but now it's kind of like seeped in and dried and altered, you know, mixed with that other color of ink. And so you can see that it is creating a slight lighter shade on top of that dark brown shade. And it's subtle, but it's there, and you can really work with that to add these like subtle moments of shading, where it's not just a flat color, it's giving it a little bit more form there. So I wanted to show you guys that by bringing you in. The graphite's really shiny. You can see it reflecting off of there. And let me see here. I also wanted to add the same type of shading that I have on like these little ghosty guys, and add a little bit to the pumpkin one. But the pumpkin's pretty round, so it's not like really hanging off of the pumpkin too much, like it would be off of the ghost. So just a little bit of shading. I'm wondering if I should go in and add some little shadows to all of the bottoms of my drawing so far. I feel like that would help tie them in a little bit. If anyone's done the rotten prompt, what did you do to make your drawing look rotten? Did you like also go with that kind of like rotting vegetable thing, or did you go with like more rotten in character, like they were doing something naughty, getting into something, or being mischievous? And I am going to go ahead and add a little shadow under here. And add a little shadow to the mushroom. Like most of the mushroom shadow would probably be behind it a little bit. Make that darker. And then the ghost one, the strawberry, I'm going to say is floating. So we'll just do a little circle underneath it. And then the frog, do some under the feet. This isn't necessary, but I don't know, something was after I anchored the worm, I was like, I think I need to do that to all of them. So for the last stream for this box, it will be next month. And I am willing to take suggestions for the last stream. I do always kind of joke that whenever I get like orangey tones in a box, I have to draw a Shiba. If you're familiar with Shiba Inus. I have a Shiba and I draw him a lot, and so I do feel like something I have to do. But if there was something else you guys would like to see with the supplies from this box, either like the supplies from this box alone, or if there was something you wanted to see me use some of the supplies with in combination with something, or highlight an item I haven't, really put in the forefront, like maybe the Kuretake marker or the Zig clean color. Do you want to do all graphite? I feel like last box I did a lot of graphite, so if you're a big graphite person, definitely go check out those streams. Yeah, what would you guys like to see? Or maybe it doesn't have anything to do with the supplies we got. Maybe it's certain topics, like you want to see like Shibas, like animals, dogs, or landscapes. I don't know. Let me know. We'll be in the midst of full-on turkey season at that point. Be Thanksgiving time. All right. So got my rotten pumpkin, my content worm, spooky strawberry, shy mushroom, grumpy frog. I probably can fit another one in before this stream is over. Which one is your favorite so far? Let me know. I saw someone said blotchy bits with my inking and somewhat desaturated color patches. Nice. So like kind of saying like a rotten like bruises kind of as well. All right, we have rotten pumpkin, sharp teeth, bubbling cauldron, curious cat, winged bat, jangly skeleton. I'm gonna go with my bubbling cauldron because I really like the one I had planned for that. Or I could. I'm gonna do one really quick one and then go. Maybe I won't finish this one, but I'll do this one as my sharp teeth one here. And I was just gonna do like a little ghosty guy with some fangs, and that was all pencil sketched. And I'm going to do a bubbling cauldron on a blank page real quick. Let's just fill the whole page. Let's do it. I'm going to kind of arc the top of it a little bit. It's going to have this like rolled top. Also, like when I like I've mentioned before, I love working from a photo reference, and when I did all of my prep and planning for this stream and what I wanted to do for the ArtSnacks Ink Challenge, I really didn't look up too much, which is really challenging for me to not pull up a photo reference, but it does kind of like help to keep things, I guess, like really true to my style or interpretation of something. And so even if something doesn't turn out perfect, it's like it's true to me, and that feels good. I'm gonna cut off the top of these a little bit because that didn't quite line up with the edge of my pot there. And then I'm going to put a spooky ghost. Coming out of the cauldron. And then I'm going to add in some bubbles. And so I want to like layer some of these on top of each other on top of the cauldron, and I want some of them to still be like half in the cauldron, you know, like they're haven't come all the way out. Some behind here, behind the whole thing. And again, I am going to be using some lighter colors for this one, and just bear with me while this is in the sketching phase. And you are going to be able to see the pencil lines, but like I said, I am only drawing this dark with the pencil lines so that you guys have something to see while I'm sketching. Otherwise, it'd be really hard to see. And let's see, I'm gonna add some more right here. Right here. Want it to look bubbling. Okay. Is that enough bubbles? I think it is. Okay. And then let's see. I'm going to go in. I'm going to be using the sand and peach colors for all of these. And so I'm going to go ahead and uncap both of these markers and just work with them at the same time. So I'm going to be going in one side with the sand and the other side with the blush. And you can do a bit, I'm going to do a bit of blending, but I'm really not going to be too crazy with making sure it's perfect. Just enough that they're blending together a little bit. And I'm keeping them all on like the same side of, like, the pink will be on the right side and the yellow sand color will be on the left side. We have about 10 minutes left. Actually, I think I should be able to get this one completed. But definitely let me know if you have any questions about the products that I used today or any techniques. If you have any questions about the ArtSnacks Ink Challenge, I'm happy to answer them. And yes, feel free to put suggestions in the comments, or you can put them on Mix. And I can hardly believe I went this long without mentioning Mix. It's like, if you watch back some of my streams, I feel like sometimes Mix is all I can talk about the entire time, and then other days it's like this, where somehow it gets unmentioned for so long. But Mix is our online community just for artists, and you can share what you're working on. It does not have to be with ArtSnacks products or with an ArtSnacks box. You can just post whatever you're working on, or you can post questions or other types of things. So it's not, you don't have to just post pictures. You can post questions about supplies, and you can interact with other artists on their artist journey. So definitely check it out. I always say Mix is the nicest corner of the internet. Very friendly place, and there's a huge range of artists there, from people who are professionals to beginners. So you'll definitely fit in no matter what level you're at. And if you are looking for feedback, there are definitely people there to give it to you. And if, like, there's also just people just to cheer you on. It's a really good place to go and like look for encouragement and find your place in the online artist world. And you can find that at artsnacks.co/mix or mix.artsnacks. So there you go. mix.artsnacks.co. I was off a little bit there. And thank you, Sarah, for putting that. It's on the little banner on the bottom of the screen, if you see that. And it is free to join. You do not have to be like a ArtSnacks subscriber to get access. So definitely go and check it out. And ArtSnacks tends to also like, I don't know, they'll like I feel like Mix gets like first dibs on some of the sales, but they'll post about it there before anywhere else. So it's also a good place to be the first people to get the good news too. So definitely check that out. And this live stream will get saved on the YouTube channel as well. So if for some reason you missed the beginning of it, you'll be able to watch the replay, or if you had to dip out early, that'll be available to you. Okay, so I got to shade all of those bubbles, so I can put my caps back onto my markers here. And then I'm going to use the dark brown, the coffee color, to fill in my whole cauldron area. I'm kind of turning my page a little bit funky, so just making sure everything was still viewable. Just filling this all in with that dark brown color. Kind of going through and outlining around the bubbles first. And then I'll do some like longer streaks to fill the whole thing in. And maybe I'll even go over to my chisel nib here. Chisel nib is really good for filling in really broad areas, but you can also get some good detail work like how I did on the pumpkin by using the smaller side of the chisel nib.
Hey, Caitlin, just popping in here.
Yeah, hi.
Fortunately, you have 5 minutes left, but I'm really enjoying the sound of the marker for a little ASMR.
Oh, yeah. Like sometimes things don't come through with this mic, so I'm glad that you're...
Oh, we can hear it.
Oh, nice. Excellent. All right. I'm just going to add a little bit underneath here to layer on top some shadowy areas here. Some feet to the cauldron. And I think I'm going to go on top with the pink, the chiseled side, and outline my bubbles. I really liked this prompt a lot. I think I haven't like gone on to see what a lot of people have been making with ArtSnacks ink. I really should look at the hashtag. But I imagine that this one really spoke to me, so I'm excited to catch up on what everybody has been posting. And doing this little bit of outline really helps to define some of those like messier edges that I have from like being just a little loose with my line work. And then I'm going to go in and outline the ghost. Add my little ghost eyes there. Fill them in. And as a final touch to the cauldron, I am going to go in with the clean color metallic marker. And some of my other streams, or I guess my last stream, I used the dot side a lot more. I love using the dot side like to kind of like fill in a background or something, or pattern making. But the bullet nib is really good for outlining. And I just think like the ink is so punchy that comes in these markers. So there you go. A little outline there. And my ghost, I feel like my light is kind of making the graphite eyes look a little bit funny. He could use some shading, but I only have 2 minutes left. So we'll just go real quick. And then I'll flip back really quick so you guys can see what all we were able to accomplish during the stream. And I can also show you my practice page for the stream as well. But it's fun because no ghosting on anything. And I did all of these like front to back on a bunch of them. So this kind of reminds me of like Flubber. It's giving Flubber vibes. All right, there we go. So if you joined late, we were going through a lot of the ink challenge prompts. Zoom you guys out a little bit. And this was what we got done during stream. And then this was some of my practice for it. So I did get a few more done. I definitely like how my pumpkin turned out more here. And some of these are a bit smaller too. I was able to get to Curious Cat, and I think this is Winged Bat, which leads to the question, is there a non-winged bat? I don't know, but maybe just have the wings out. Wings out bat. And then I did do some other cauldron. That was my first shy mushroom I did. It's pretty cute. But just wanted to show you guys. I have some sketching here going on for a skeleton that for a later date. But thought you guys would want to see. Here, we'll just do lightning fast. Oh, I have 15 seconds. Lightning fast flip through everything we've done so far.
You got this. I'll allow this. This is a good flip through.
There you go. And
I
we
love
have
that
it.
it took up the whole page.
I tried. I wanted to like give it its own moment, you know. So here we go. But yeah,
Amazing.
this is completion of the second live stream for the fall doc. So thank you everyone for joining. This was a blast.
Awesome. All right, Caitlin, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me at Caterbug Studios. I am on Instagram and I am on TikTok underneath Caterbug Studios. So you can find me there. And you can check out some of the Space Tober stuff I've been posting if you want to check out any of those drawings that I was mentioning during the stream.
Yay.
Yay.
Awesome. Thanks, Caitlin. Thank you
Yeah.
everyone for joining us.
Yes. Thank you so much. Have a great night, everyone.